Thanks for joining us for another edition of Weekend Winners. This is where we try and find a winner at the Albion Park meeting each and every Saturday night. We've got 10 on the program this weekend and action gets underway at 5:09. In this episode of Weekend Winners, we're going to speak with Adam Sanderson and Angus the Kid Garrard. They're both fan favourites and I'll be interested to see what they think about their book of drives coming up. The ever-popular Adam Sanderson is about to join us to go through his book of drives for Saturday night. He's got four, but they're four quality drives, and he joins us now. Adam, appreciate the time.
It's always a pleasure talking to you, Chris.
We start with race 3, the Open. This guy is airborne at the moment, Clint'll Do. He looks like he's a good horse to drive.
Yeah, he's good. He's faultless, goes out there and gives 110 every time, so it's more than you can ask for.
You've only just started driving him, and I say that just recently, but you guys have got an obvious rapport because you click, and just looking at the form lines, they're super.
Yeah, he's racing terrific, and he's the sort of horse that sort of suits my driving style. So you sit sprint and he's that fast. You can sort of just do anything with him.
What do we do from gate 3 over a mile, and you've got speed to your inside, in particular with May Wins Best, famous short in gate 2. So what are the early thoughts here?
He'll just slot across, find the best spot early. He hasn't raced for a month, so he had a bit of a freshen up, and there's a few targets to aim for in the next few weeks. So he'll just do the same, sit back and hope the tempo's hot, and he'll get over top of them. Do you think this race will generate early pressure? It looks to be. There's a couple there that have good speed and like to roll along. So that we sort of need that. So hopefully it is, and if he's racing as good as he was before his break, he's going to be hard to stop.
Okay, well, that's Clint'll Do. Race 3, number 3. We move to race 4. Tiz A Sizzler. I like this guy. I think he finds a really winnable race here on Saturday night, and he lands a good draw. Do you share my enthusiasm?
Yeah, he's one of my favourites to drive. He's a lovely horse and, beautiful, good-looking colt. So I was a bit disappointed in his last start. He was a bit average, but he's had a couple issues, and fingers crossed he's over them, and this looks like the right race to kick back some form. He's
versatile as well. You can lead, you can come off a tempo with him. It doesn't really matter, but just looking at it early here, do you plan to go forward and make full use of the good draw?
Yeah, you sort of have to. He looks on paper the best horse in this race by a sort of long way. So as I said, if he's back to his best, I can't see him being beat.
Okay. There are some nice races coming up during the carnival. He's still a fair way down, but do you think he could measure up in some of those support features over the next couple of months?
Oh, for sure. He's only getting better. When you look at his record, he's still relatively inexperienced, and for what he's done in such a short time, it bodes well for his future.
All right, well, that's Tiz A Sizzler. We go across to race 7 again for Dale March here. You'll drive Artful Maid. She lands the inside gate, and this is a fairly strong mares event because there's a bit of depth here, but Artful Maid, it's the right gate for her. How did you assess her effort last week when 6th?
She was good. She had no luck. The leader sort of stopped her in her face, and the outside ones, got a good swoop on. So you put a line through that, and her 2 starts before that were really good, running second to Saucy Dreams and another one. So 2100, drawn 1, it's sort of it's not ideal, but she's going to have to do a bit early, and if we can sort of do enough without doing too much and get a good spot, she'll be thereabouts.
Okay, Scarlet Babe, Saucy Dreams, are they the obvious ones for this race?
Yeah, for sure. Scarlet Babe's flying. She's done nothing wrong since she's come to Queensland, and Saucy Dreams was awesome last start. So they probably, and even better, Robin's another one. So on paper, they've probably got a bit too much class for her. So if we can run top 5, I'll be happy.
Okay. The last, race 10, the Trot, Orlando Jolt. You know this guy well. He's racing in very consistent form. He's one of those trotters that you've just got to allow to balance up, let him find his feet, but he can really ping a last quarter.
Yeah, he's racing good, in them lesser races. He's coming off a handicap, and he sort of steps slow, and as you say, you got to let him find his feet, and you sort of don't worry if he gets out of his ground, because he's sort of, that's the way you can drive him. So this looks probably a bit too strong for him at this stage, but he's one that he needs to race these good ones and learn to sort of toughen up, and he'll be one in 6 months that he might feature in a race like this. Okay.
He's proven at the distance range, so that's no concern for Saturday night?
No, not at all. 2600 suits him better, gives him a bit of time to, as you say, find his feet, and that's sort of not a worry. It's just where he gets too early and being outside the draw, a few step a lot better than him, but he'll be running on no matter what.
Okay, well, that's Orlando Jolt there in the final event. Of the 4, which one are you looking forward to most?
I always look forward to driving Tiz A Sizzler. You know, he's one of my favourites. So on paper, he looks the one to beat.
Okay, we'll take the tip. That's a good tip as well. Race 4, number 3, Tiz A Sizzler. Always a pleasure. We'll see you trackside Saturday night.
No worries. Thanks, Chris.
Angus the Kid Garrard is joining us to go through his book of drives for Saturday night at Albion Park, part of a 10-race program, and it looks fairly even on paper. Angus is now joining us. Angus, appreciate the time.
No worries, thanks for having me on, Chris.
Rock and roll icon, race 1, number 9. You were with this guy last week, and overall, since being here in Queensland under the care of Donnie Smith, he's been really consistent, and that was a tip-top performance last week.
Yeah, for sure. He's been really impressive, as you said, ever since he's been up here, Chris. He seems to be going to strength, and I think he had a few little niggles there not long back, but he seems to have overcome those, and he's seems very sharp lately.
There was a lot to like about that performance last week. You parked outside the race favourite watch list. He got a little keen in the mid stages, but you put him away quickly, and he was strong at the line.
Yeah, for sure. He was really impressive. He did that quite easy in the end, Chris. Once he got the head in front, he just pricked the ears and poked along to the line. So I think if there was something there racing him, he probably would have run some pretty slick time that last quarter as well.
Last week was 2,138 metres, completely different kettle of fish coming up this week. Back to the mile, and you're facing a second row draw. But one thing about Rock and Roll Icon, he looks versatile. He's no one-trick pony.
Yeah, for sure. He obviously he can do it the hard way like he did last week, or I think he ran a 54 half one night coming off speed, second to Will the Wizard. So he's certainly got a really slick last sectional in him.
This race looks like it's going to generate pressure. The likes of Paravani, Gate 1, King of the Stars likes to roll along, and then towards the outside of that front line, Speedy Dominic and Black Sedance. Are you hoping for a genuine tempo?
Yeah, definitely, Chris. That'll sort of be key to our chances there. Hopefully, if there's good tempo on early, we can get over the top. If not, it's probably just going to be a walk and sprint, and it'll make it a little bit difficult.
It's a step up on what he beat last week, but do you think he can make that step up?
Yeah, for sure, Chris. I think he should sort of keep rolling through the grades quite nice, I think, on what I've felt so far. So wouldn't surprise me to see him step up into free-for-all grade.
Okay, well that's Rock and Roll Icon race 1. Race 2, you're down to drive Big Bang Leonard. He's a popular pacer, this guy. He's down on form, but he lands barrier 1. Can he play any sort of early part here and hold a forward spot?
Yeah, I think so, Chris. We'll probably just have to sum it up and see what happens early, but I think he's been racing a lot better than his form suggests lately, and this is the first good draw he's had in quite a while.
Is the pressure likely to come from those sort of in the centre out, looking at the likes of Stomp 'em, Handsome Hero, Mows 'em Down, and Jonah Jones, who won last week? He was able to get across from the same draw. Is that where the early pressure will come?
Yeah, I think so, Chris, and they've all been racing well, those horses, so yeah, we'll just have to see what happens early and sum it up.
All right, well, you've driven him before, Big Bang Leonard, so you know what he's all about. Is he an easy horse to drive because he's got a real shuffle about his action? Is that fair to say?
Yeah, he's got a bit of a funny action, Chris. I find if you just sort of let him do his own thing, keep him travelling nice, he's pretty easy, but I suppose he could be tricky at times.
Okay, race 6 on Saturday night. You're down to drive number 6, Katut. He's another one down on form, and it's a tricky draw on paper. How do you see it?
Yeah, I think again, Chris, he's another one that's been actually racing a bit better than his form suggests, but he's sort of faced a few tough tasks this time in. Probably looks a bit tough again this time, but I think if something happens and we can sort of get a nice trip into it and be emerging at the top of the straight, it wouldn't surprise me.
Okay, LL Cool J, he's probably the key runner here, drawn in gate 7, a scratching last week, but he backs up this week. And Lombo Heaven looked impressive last week to the eye. Pretty difficult conditions last week, but he won well. So Pacific Drums is another runner that's likely to be well fancied. So a little bit of luck required there with Katut. Good pick-up drive for you in race 7. Saucy Dreams, a last start winner, and the form out of that victory looks okay because Scarlet Babe was unplaced in that latest victory of Saucy Dreams, and she was brilliant last week. So this is a good pick-up drive.
Yeah, 100%, Chris. She's a mare that's been racing in super form for a while now. She's running really good time and doing it tough. So yeah, really good to get to sit behind her.
And it doesn't matter if it's a mile or 2,100 metres. She is a versatile mare. She was really impressive this night, driven aggressively, finding the front, and then just powered away up the home running.
Yeah, for sure. She pulled off that 52 mile outside him last week, and then not long ago she ran a 54 mile for 2,100, so she's definitely versatile.
At this early stage, are you likely to press the button? I know you've got to speak with connections, but just looking at it on paper, do you want to roll forward and get as handy as possible?
She sort of tends to do that pretty regularly, Chris, so I would think so. But in saying that, there is quite a bit of pressure if a few of those push the button inside us, and Scarlet Babe from 6. It'll be interesting to see what she does, so we'll just have to wait and see.
All right, well, that's a good drive. Saucy Dreams there in that race. Race 9, our Bondi Beach. You know this guy. You've sat behind him several times. He lands gate 3, but you've got pace to your inside. Does that make it a little difficult?
Yeah, it does make it tough, Chris. We're sort of just going to have to sum it up early again and see if we can lob somewhere handy enough.
This race could easily generate good pressure. Franco Hampton in 1 over the mile. He likes to roll along, so they could be getting along at a good clip here.
Yeah, definitely. You'd think with Franco Hampton on top, they're probably going to be rolling along sub 53 sort of thing, so could play into our hands.
All right, well, with a little bit of luck, he can certainly feature. Our Bondi Beach, his recent form is more than okay. Of the drives on Saturday night, which one are you looking forward to most?
Probably Saucy Dreams. She's seems a really classy mare, and it'll be nice to have a sit behind her.
All right, we'll take the tip with race 7, number 7, Saucy Dreams. You're in good form. Let's hope that continues on Saturday night. Appreciate the time.
Thanks, Chris.
A big thanks to both Adam and Angus. We wish them the best of luck on the weekend. Double luck for Adam because I'm putting a bit of pressure on. I think the best bet appears in race 4. It's horse 3, Tiz A Sizzler. Adam has the drive, as we just heard, and he thinks he's a good chance. I think he's a terrific chance. He's a very exciting prospect. He's building a nice record, looks hard to beat. So race 4, number 3, Tiz A Sizzler, our best bet on the program. The first of 10 repeating at 5:09. If you are betting, please do so responsibly. We'll see you trackside on Saturday night.